Judge Poe, the Vice Chair of the Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations.
Madam Secretary, thank you for being here, and thank you once again for the time that Deputy Secretary Corbin spent with me, over an hour, talking about a lot of issues. I believe, like you, that deep down in our soul, everybody in the whole world has this burning desire for freedom. However you want to call that or define it, that's the way people are. And I believe that it exists probably as well as any place in the country of Iran. We have a lot of Americans here who are of Iranian descent. Many of them have family in Camp Ashraf. Many of them have lost family who have been killed in Camp Ashraf. They have family in Iran, and I believe those young people in Iran have that spirit of freedom. I have a question that I certainly don't know the answer to, but the United States throughout history takes the position usually that we support a country and then eventually we support the rebels or those who want to come in and take over that country. We've made that decision in Libya. I think the administration used actually the term, we support the rebels. And sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. I think there is no greater tyrant on earth than the little fellow from the desert, Ahmadinejad, and the way he treats his people, the way he's declared war really on everybody. When do we get to a point as a country in making these decisions like we did with Libya? When do we get to the point that we say, you got to go? We made that decision in Libya. When do we make that decision in Iran? You got to go.
Well, Congressman, I think we have to support those who are struggling and fighting for their own freedom inside countries. And we do that in Iran, but it is unfortunate that this regime has exercised such oppression against its own people, has done everything possible to destroy the opposition. So we do support, and we will continue to support, and we will be very vocal in our support. But we also look at those moments, those hinges in history where there is an adequate critical mass of people that are willing to stand up for their own rights. And unfortunately, in many countries, it took a long time in the Soviet Union, as you know, and then countries began to move, and we were there with support for them. We see that now in the Middle East and North Africa. Iran is a tougher case, but we are going to do everything we can to support those who want that freedom. And let me just for the record say, too, because there have been several references during the hearing to the MEK, and I know there are many representatives here in the audience, and as the committee is well aware, on July 16, 2009, the district court here in D.C. ordered the department to allow the MEK to respond to unclassified portions of the administrative record in reviewing the designation of being on the foreign terrorist organization list. And as such, we are again reviewing the designation in accordance with the court's decision and applicable law. And this review will result in a de novo decision concerning the designation of the MEK.
When do you think you will have that decision?
You know, it's proceeding. These are very important considerations and reviews, and you know, as soon as we can, we will make such a decision, Congressman.
Myself and others have met with the State Department, CIA, and classified briefings, and I would just encourage the State Department, based on everything I know, to make that decision. I'm one that, of course, thinks that we ought to take them off the list. And I would hope Congress wouldn't have to make that decision. I hope the State Department would. But I would ask that if any information comes forward, either way, that your Department of State would share that with us in a classified briefing so that we have that information. And the last question I was going to comment on and concern was the residents of Camp Ashraf. They are nervous. Their relatives are nervous because of the way that this time is really not, in my opinion, on their side. How do you, just your opinion, think this is going to play out once we're gone? The people in Camp Ashraf, are they going to be moved from the border? Are they going to go to Iran? They're going to go to Europe? How do you see that working, playing out?
Well, first, let me say that we monitor this situation very closely. We try to investigate all of the assertions that are made. We know that adequate food and fuel under our supervision and pushing gets in, but we also know there are constant propagations that exist. So we are in a daily dialogue with the government of Iraq, with the United Nations, and we will continue to do everything we can to protect them.
Thank you, Madam Secretary.